Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the NBA Front Office Show. It's Friday. You know what that means.
Front Office Friday! Friday the 13th edition.
Oh, there it is. Friday the 13th edition of the NBA Front Office Show. What a spooky way to kick off All-Star Weekend. We're happy to have you all here with us. If you're coming in on the YouTube side, throw your questions, your comments in the chat. This is your show. We're going to be answering what you guys want us to get into. Keith, I guess while we're getting questions and comments coming in here to the chat, we should acknowledge Chris Paul just officially retired from the NBA. He announced he got waived by the Toronto Raptors, and now the speculation is over on whether or not he will join another NBA team. He is calling it a career.
Yeah, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's on my Twitter and multiple other social medias. His post on Instagram, but basically says, "This is it. After over 21 years, I'm stepping away from basketball." And then he went into some about his career and how he feels right now and all that. So, I mean, the ending sucks, right? Like, not the ending I think anybody wanted for Chris Paul, but it is. Congratulations to him on an absolutely incredible career. I was looking it up while we were getting the show ready to start. Retires second all time in assists, fifth all time in assists per game, fifth all time in win shares, which is really like that one was like, oh, wow. Like win shares is a stat that is obviously very much benefited by very long careers, but it's long and good careers as well. So, so that is, where that's at. So, there we are, Chris Paul.
Yeah. I mean, massive congratulations on his career to Chris Paul. Didn't end necessarily the way that he wanted it to, but still he's had an incredible NBA career and got to be happy for him about that. All right,
I got to talk one more thing before we get fully into basketball. It's sports related, at least.
All right.
Have you seen this story about this guy who was an on the run fugitive for 16 years? And they caught him because he had to try to see Slovakia play in Olympic hockey. He was trying to get into the game, and Italian authorities caught him for crimes he's been wanted for 16 years.
Sports led to his downfall.
There's no sports team I love that much.
But did he understand like the risk he was putting himself in, and he just said, "Screw it, I have to see my team"?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he thought, it's been 16 years. Here's the crazy part to me. Now he goes to prison for 11 months. It feels like, I don't know. That feels light. I don't know exactly what his crimes were. Maybe he should have just served the 11 months.
He was, right. He was on the. I thought you were going to tell me it's a life sentence or something like that. It's an 11. Like
that's what I expected. But as I read more about it,
out and done with, rather than be hiding from people, for 16 years. Wow.
There it is. There's that story. So that just made me laugh because I was like, I have no dedication to a team I love that much to give up that much time on the run, but
not going to prison for a professional sports team. All right, we got a lot to get into here. We'll go this. Cassandra says half day so I can finally catch a live. Let's go. Yeah, happy to have you here.
Our daughter's on a 4-day weekend. It's a teacher work day and then Monday off for President's Day. So.
Very nice. Very nice. Gotta love it. Keith, we do have the All-Star game coming up this weekend. Are you excited for All-Star weekend?
I still really enjoy the 3-point contest. The shooting stars is always fun. I'm never gonna call it good, but
sure,
always fun. I'm curious about the game and tournament, I guess is that's where I'll put that. Excited is probably too far. But I will watch just to see what it looks like, and we'll see if anybody is if they really get after it or not. That's going to be the big question, as Kevin Durant called out his European counterparts when was asked, if American players are going to try. He was basically like, are the European guys going to try? Because they're the ones like laying down on the middle of the court and shooting from their backsides and stuff.
It's the guys get a little bit defensive, I suppose. But it's everybody. Everybody doesn't try in the All-Star game. So it's not like you can point the finger and say, oh, well, it's those guys' fault over there. It's everybody's fault why the All-Star game has become what it is. But yeah, I'm excited for the three-point contest. I'm going to be rooting for Dame. I want to see him win that thing since we haven't gotten to see Damian Lillard this season. The dunk contest, I wish some of the bigger name guys would do the dunk contest.
It's just, I think those days are done and over with.
Why do players not want to do the dunk contest? Are they that afraid of losing?
Yeah, I think guys don't want to look stupid, right? They don't want to look bad. I think that's a big part of it. It's the same reason why when everybody's like, they need to do a one-on-one tournament. Nobody wants to do that and come out.
Fans would love it.
Looking good. Yeah, absolutely would love it. I did not realize when I threw this out there that gosh, I wish I could remember. Maybe it was either David Jacoby or Kevin Wildes on Bill Simmons' podcast presented something similar. But I was thinking about the Royal Rumble, which was always my favorite one when I watched wrestling.
This year,
I liked that in Survivor Series. So I was thinking about like, hey, what we should do next time is like just name 30 All-Stars, which it should be 30 anyway, because the rosters are 15-man rosters for games.
Right.
Like, which is just dumb that we don't reflect what the real rosters are. But anyway, and start out with two guys and you play one-on-one. Then every minute or two, you introduce a new guy. Probably every minute, you introduce a new guy and you play it out however you want. If it's me and you and Joe, and we're like, hey, let's make sure we get Joe out. All right, we double team him. And you score. And my thought was whoever is the person who's been on the court the longest is eliminated every time there's a basket. And if they score, you go to the next person, on the list. And that's how you go. And people were like, oh, but what would you do if it was a, what if, I think they used Wemby and like LeBron got spots 1 and 2. Well, it sucks to draw an early number, just like it sucks in the Royal Rumble, right? Like the last guy in is going to have an advantage, but maybe everybody teams up to try to get him out.
I could get on board with this, Keith. I can get on board with this because I think that the Royal Rumble this year was not very good. There weren't any great surprises or anything like that.
I didn't watch
what makes the Royal Rumble awesome is those big, oh my God, surprise returns from certain athletes and certain wrestlers in the Rumble itself. The women's Royal Rumble was not bad, but the men's Royal Rumble was wasn't very exciting, right? I'm thinking about how way you could do it though, like what they missed in the Royal Rumble this year. Like if you have those 30 players in, you could mix in even a few extra picks where they're like surprise entrants.
Yeah.
And have it be, Chris Paul, who just retired, have it be somebody from the past comes out. Can you imagine like, by God, that's Kevin Garnett's music. Something like that. Something like that happens, and we got a good old JR there. That could be a lot of fun. That would be a blast. I like that idea. We need to make this a thing. We need to make this happen.
Kind of combine it with like when I don't know, boy, people call this game different things. We called it 21 where I grew up.
Yeah.
I know other people call it other things. But like we called it 21, and sometimes it would be 7 people chasing after one rebound, or everybody defending the one guy while he's trying to get a shot up. And it would be a lot of fun. So
it would be a blast.
Hey, while we're talking All-Star, this is a good thing. The All-Star game is airing at 5 Eastern on Sunday. Earliest I can remember an All-Star starting since the 90s. The league worried about viewerships and rating. Would that start? I'm sure they are. The challenge is, as part of the new TV deal, NBC bought the rights to All-Star Weekend, and NBC has the Olympics right now, and they're not going to bump the Olympics out of prime time. Even though what's weird is nothing is live at 8 p.m. At night, like during the Olympics, because it's like 2 a.m. in Italy at that time, or even 3 a.m. So there's nothing live happening then, but it kind of is what it is. So it's not ideal, but honestly, I'm okay with it. Like now I'm not gonna be up very late on either day watching this game stuff. So I'm all right with it.
All right, let's go here. Thoughts on Paolo recently?
It's been rough. He is
pull stats.
Yeah, efficiency is down for Paolo. I'm gonna put a lot of that on Well, I'm gonna cut that blame pie into threes. One is injuries. He often is the guy that's creating stuff for the Magic. I'm going to put it on coaching. The Magic have a very unimaginative offense. They don't really do a whole lot offensively to make the game easier for him. So I'll put that on Jamal Mosley and staff. And then the other one is I'm going to put the chunk on Paolo. There are times when he just settles for not great shots. Sometimes he's forced to take not great shots. There's still too many possessions where he gets it with 18 on the shot clock and spends 12 seconds dribbling or trying to find a shot that he wants, and it just gets tough on him. So there have been signs and moments with Franz Wagner back where it's looked better. So hopefully that's where it'll go. He had a stretch at the end of January where he's playing really well. So hopefully that'll come back around. But we'll see. It's definitely been a rough year for Paolo.
Yeah, it's not been the season that he wanted. It's not been the season overall for Orlando that they've wanted. They haven't taken the big step forward. I still think they can be a pain in the butt for anybody in the playoffs, but obviously with the amount they're spending, they're hoping for more than just that. All right, Cassandra wants to know, how soon can we trade Rui after an extension? Some of that would depend on how much he gets, but yeah. let's say the Lakers were to extend Rui Hachimura, let's say June 30th, which is the last day they can. Let's say they give him a contract extension June 30th. At what point would he then be trade eligible?
Yeah, 6 months. Just assume 6 months, because it's very unlikely he would get anything under that would do 6 months. Otherwise, he'd just do it in free agency.
Right.
The important thing is if you do it right at the end of the season like that, he'll be trade eligible basically when trade season opens. Right. If you do it on June 30th. So that's where that would be. And I'm not gonna rule that out for the Lakers. I think if by the time they need to make those decisions, they will have somewhat of an idea of what might be available to them in free agency. So at that point, yeah, if it's, there's not a better option than extending Rui, then you extend him and you move on. I think what's more likely with him though is you extend him on a short-term extension or you just re-sign him in free agency. And I know people might bristle at this, but maybe you give him 25 or 30 million for 1 year. Because if it's, there's not a lot else to use our cap space on, at least then he's 25 or 30 million in tradable salary. And we figured out, but you're definitely doing that with him waiving the no trade.
Yeah, I was going to say he would have a de facto no trade unless you get him to waive it in that scenario. So you're talking about
right? Hey, we're going to overpay you. You're going to waive that.
You're talking about a world where they can't find a lot of good moves with their cap space and say, let's turn you into effectively like a $30 million trade exception that we could use to go play.
That can also play, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then you don't hurt anything if it's, we're going to do this cap space thing in the summer of 2027 instead.
Right.
You're going to get
let's go here. Keith, in Spot Track, every unrestricted free agent next year has a box with unrestricted free agent and some amount. What does the amount represent?
Yeah, that's their cap hold.
Oh.
Yep. So when you, Trevor's got it up here. So let's use Rui. So there he is right there. So Rui Hachimura makes 18 million. That is above the league average salary. So his cap hold is 1.5 times that, or 150% of his prior salary. So that's about 27.5 million. So that's where that comes in on that. And then that little percentage number is just percentage of the cap that whether the salary or the cap hold takes up. But that's what those are. Those are cap holds. The interesting one is Austin Reeves. He's like right straddling the line where his cap hold will either be, because we all know he's going to opt out. His cap hold right now, he's above the average player salary. So clearly we're still displaying his option year there, because he hasn't made a decision on his option. But once he does, his cap hold could be, if he's above, it'll be 1.5. If it falls below, it'll be 1.9. So his cap hold number could change quite a bit. We won't know that number until late June, before free agency opens.
So and that'll obviously be important. Potentially, you're talking about pretty solid chunk of change that either could or could not be available depending on where that ultimately falls for the Lakers this summer. All right, let's go here. Do you think, I'm assuming this is about Chris Paul, do we think he'll go into coaching?
No, I don't think so. At least not for a while. Guys like Chris Paul, so this was the one I was thinking about. This was Larry Bird. Took him so long to get into coaching. And when they always said, like, why did it take you so long? And he goes, I had super high expectations of myself and my teammates that you were going to come ready to go all the time, ready to play, work as hard as I did, and all that. And he goes, and as a coach, you have to treat every player as an individual. You can't just have the same expectations of every single guy every single day. And he goes, it took me a while to be away from the game for that. And with Chris Paul, I think he's in a place where it was, hey, like it's same kind of style, right? Where it's like, I don't know that he's going to be immediately ready to jump right into coaching.
Yeah, it's maybe a lot of times these guys that are the star level players, they have a hard time adjusting to being a coach and coaching guys that can't do the things that they could do. We've seen that happen a number of times. Let's go here. It said there are official retirement papers to file. Correct. If Chris Paul chooses just to informally retire, he would be eligible to join a playoff roster right before being waived. 3-1. I mean, yeah, if he just says I'm retired, if he just declares bankruptcy but never actually files anything, then in theory he could say, maybe he'll send it via fax and say I'm back.
Bankruptcy.
But yeah, in theory he could come back.
Here's the thing too in this case, because once he clears waivers, which he clearly will do within the next couple of days here, what will happen with him will be he's not on a roster and not under contract after he clears waivers. So he will not be in a place where unretiring is beneficial or harmful to anyone. He's not under contract to anybody anymore. So what will happen is even if he does the formal retirement with the league and files the paperwork and everything, which not every player does, some guys just kind of go away. Right. There is a process where if a player wants to unretire, but that's generally if they retired with money left on their contract. There's a whole process that has to be gone through, and money gets put back on the cap, and it's very tedious and too much that people probably really don't care about it. But it would be kind of interesting with that. So, so we'll see.
How do you think the Clippers look in this situation? Like, they effectively retired Chris Paul when they sent him home. He's their franchise superstar for years and years. This team was built around Chris Paul. Is this a bad look for the Clippers that this is the ending Chris Paul is getting?
Yeah, it's not great. I don't like it. I didn't like it when it happened. I don't like it now. I like it even less now after the Clippers moved some other guys. Like you could have made this just work, but by the time they were moving Harden and moving Zubac, they wanted to get to a place where it was, let me get into, maybe we could get out of the tax or at least very lower our tax bill. So moving Chris Paul's $2.3 million guaranteed that's a big amount of savings tax wise for the Clippers. So I get why they did all of it, but yeah, I don't love that this is, the way it played out like that.
No. He's not really getting to go out on his terms, which is unfortunate. From one of the best point guards we've ever seen in the NBA.
Yeah. And this is a good point. CP3 on a video a day, and Taurasi said no to coaching, doesn't want to travel like that.
That makes sense.
What I think will happen is, especially with so much of it based in LA, we're going to see him on TV, right? He'll pop up on TV and he'll probably be pretty good on TV is my guess. Provided let's get him on one of the places where they allow him to actually break things down and talk about the game and how he saw kind of what Steve Nash is doing for Amazon. Like he would be really good in that kind of role. Then the travel thing, maybe that changes when his kids get older, right? Maybe then he's like, all right, you know what? Nobody's at home. Maybe I do want to jump into coaching, but we'll see, where that goes.
All right. Speaking of the Clippers, when will the Clippers be punished? So there was a piece from The Athletic today that said it will not happen before All-Star weekend here, but that's to be expected. We assumed that it would not happen before All-Star weekend. The investigation that's been ongoing should be wrapping up soon. I mean, it could be anytime after All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
I would think this isn't going to drag out too much longer, but it's not like right before the All-Star game, suddenly we're going to find out the Clippers are losing 5 years worth of draft picks or something like that. No, it's not. They're going to let All-Star weekend be All-Star weekend, and then sometime after that we'll get word.
Imagine if like we were already on a wrestling theme here. Adam Silver comes out and hits Steve Ballmer with a steel chair right at the beginning, and is like, "Now here's your punishments." Right?
Spray paints NBA across Ballmer's back.
Right? Yeah, that'd be funny. It's gonna come down after. I would not be surprised if it is like shortly after, before we even get back into games.
Mhm.
I think we'll see, and it's there. Go read the piece because we don't need to lay out all the stuff because they covered all the things that the league is working through here with people who are like, throw the book at them, punish them to the extreme, and then others who are like, how far do we want to go with this and those kind of things. So we'll see.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the NBA proceeds. There will be a huge backlash if the Clippers just get some slap on the wrist or found to have not done anything wrong. Yeah. But if that's what the evidence suggests, then that's what the evidence suggests. So the NBA is in a tough spot. Everything that the public has seen is just damning for the Clippers. Each thing that comes out, it's harder and harder to believe that nothing wrong happened with all the evidence that comes out. But then again, we also try to remember there's two sides to every story. And aside from Steve Ballmer saying, I don't know a bunch of times, we haven't really heard the Clippers side of things.
Yeah, I mean, and we're getting now text messages, like screenshots of text messages, and it doesn't look good.
No. All right. Free agent Haywood Highsmith, is he healthy? The reporting was that he was going to be ready to go, but has not signed with the team just yet.
Yeah, if he's not healthy, it sounds like he was at least very close, and we'll see where it goes. A lot of times what happens with buyouts is, unless it's a player that is facing major competition like Cam Thomas presumably was, you'll see it wait. You'll see it kind of come after the All-Star break. Like I've been making the running joke with Mike Conley that Mike Conley's like, hey, you traded me, so I'll come back after I take a nice long vacation and I'll see you after All-Star. And Mike Conley, and good for Mike Conley if that's the way that played out. It's probably the Wolves are also like, yeah, we don't really need to add to our tax bill either, so cool, just take your time coming back. But yeah, guys will wait until after the All-Star break now before signing, because there's no reason to. Everybody, team save money, the player gets the nice long vacation, and you just go.
All right, let's go here. 12 a.m. gang. What are you doing next week, guys? So you are halfway around the world. As far as what we're doing next week, I'm gonna go on vacation.
Yeah, I am also taking some time off. I'm not
taking some time as well.
We'll see if we go anywhere or not.
You're at the very least you're gonna staycation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will have some time off, but I will do some form of show next Friday.
Sounds good.
Just stay tuned. I'll let you know.
All right, let's go here.
Oh, where are y'all going? We're not going to tell you guys that. I don't want you to come with us.
Sorry.
Parts unknown.
There's no room. Yeah. Hailing from parts unknown.
This is just turned into the wrestling podcast.
It has.
Let's go.
Who is hailing from parts unknown? I think it was
Undertaker for a little while.
Undertaker for a while. You're right. Yep.
Before they started announcing them from Death Valley.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior. That was the big one, right?
The Warrior comes sprinting out to the ring.
Everybody's like, oh, I can now tell where Keith stopped watching wrestling. Right. It was right at the beginning of high school. And then I picked it back up again in college for a few years and got really into it. And then, and then after it basically once I moved here, that was it for me.
That was the end. Yeah. All right. Let's go here. Sad Chris didn't get the proper send off. He's a top 25-esque player. Yeah. I really wanted a return to the Thunder in a Udonis Haslem role. Hopefully get a chip on the way out. Yeah, I wonder too, you talked about Chris Paul not wanting to coach because he doesn't want to be away from home. Part of the conversation with him over the summer about where he was going to sign that came down to the Suns or the Clippers, because those are two teams that are very, very close to home in LA for him. I do wonder, is this Chris Paul, was he looking at things and saying, well, if there's not a spot with the Clippers, there's not a spot with the Lakers, there's not a spot with the Suns right now, and I don't want to be away from home. Maybe that was a factor in him deciding, hey, I'm going to hang it up. If there was an opportunity with another team, say there was an opportunity, I don't know, across the country, let's say the Magic, right? Did Chris Paul just decide, yeah, I'd rather just call it a career than go spend 3 months playing for a team across the country and be away from family?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big part of it. And I mean, he's been home now for what, a month or more. And he's probably enjoying it. And it's probably for him, it's like, I'm going to play a minor role on a team. I'm 100% agreement that he didn't get the proper send off. That does bum me out.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a retirement tour for Chris Paul. I get the idea of putting him in a Udonis Haslem role. I don't know that he's quite fit for that, though. I think Chris Paul is more of a out loud leader. He even referenced it in his retirement statement about being a leader and how hard it was at times. Where Haslem was more of a quiet leader when he needed to be. With that. And then I will say with the Thunder, I tweeted this last night as Nikola Topic made his NBA debut. Congrats to him. That's awesome. Yeah. I tweeted, yeah, they needed another good guard. Like, I need another cookie. Like, what? Like, so they definitely don't need Chris Paul, and I get it. It wouldn't be in a playing role really, but yeah, it is what it is. So I think you're right. I think there wasn't a clear spot for him where he wanted to be, and just decided, all right, this is it.
Yeah. And, an incredible career, even if it didn't finish the exact way that he wanted. Somebody said, so you guys missed the Attitude Era?
No, that was the last time I watched.
Yeah, the Attitude Era was, that was certainly a golden age. In the Monday Night Wars, oh my God.
Yeah, that was I watched basically kind of till that more or less wrapped up, and then that was it for me.
All right, let's go here.
I was a big DX guy.
Are you ready?
I loved them.
Oh, it was so good.
You didn't know. That's gonna call somebody.
Oh,
it's like still in my head. I can hear the whole thing. Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll put on the entrance theme from that.
Nice.
And sometimes when we start a video, I'll say, hey, there's this big topic breaking news or whatever. We're going to break it down like D-Generation X. Sometimes people get it. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Least competitive MVP being named after Kobe is awful. All-Stars should do better for 24. He's talking about the NBA All-Star Game MVP.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, that's not actually a thing, right? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they were thinking about that.
Yeah.
And when the award was created, was there as much conversation? I don't recall if there was as much conversation about the All-Star Game being non-competitive as there is now when it was named the Kobe Bryant MVP. But I mean, it is ironic, I guess. Kobe, who was known for an insane work rate, for him, the award named after him to be the award that gets given in a game where most of the players don't try hard. That there's a bit of irony there, but I think the NBA just wanted to put his name on something and honor Kobe with an award named after him. So can't complain too much, even if it is a little odd. But
no, I get it now. I get the idea behind the question. There was no intention with that, and I just go back to, like, if it's your favorite team and your guy's going really hard and gets hurt in the All-Star game, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be mad. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I always go back to, people have these fantasies of these All-Star games that they seem to remember. And I don't ever remember it being a game where it was like an all-out battle, unless it was super close midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Then you get guys trying to get out there and win it. But so many of those games are so few and far between that they're close. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I just don't really. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation with the All-Star Game being non-competitive. But like you said, if you're a fan of that team, like it's like fans don't want their player competing in the Olympics or playing for the national team because they're worried. What if a Paul George situation happens? Right, like right now, I know it would be terrible for the NBA, but I hope that Luka does not participate in the All-Star game. You sat out the last 4 games. If you didn't play the last game for the Lakers, you should not be playing in the All-Star game. Now, the NBA certainly will have a different perspective on that, but if it's your team, you don't want your guy out there on the court either. The players understand that too. Like every player, when they step onto the court, they know there's 30 games left in the season or so. Yep. They all know, hey, I take a wrong step in the All-Star game, goofing off, and I can ruin my team's entire season right now. Like, that's also what's on the line. So I don't blame players for not playing hard in the All-Star game. Something needs to be done. I think the things that they've tried to do have not worked. I don't know if you move the All-Star game to after the season, if you change it to, the final of the NBA Cup tournament, if you just get rid of the game but still name All-Stars. Some type of solution ultimately needs to be found. I think there's going to have to be more radical thinking than just, we're going to try Team USA versus the world. Okay, we're going to try an Elam ending. Okay, we're going to try team captains and all these sorts of things. They keep trying to dress things up as much as they can. But the fact of the matter remains that once the ball is live, the players are only going at about 50%. And I don't necessarily blame them for that.
Yeah, I have nothing more to add.
All right, let's go here. Keith, if LeBron gets traded on draft night, he's a free agent.
Yeah, he can't be traded. So any pending free agent can't be traded after the trade deadline. So that includes players with player or team options, unless those options are picked up. Then obviously they're under contract. But if you're not under contract for next season, you cannot be traded.
All right. Let's do a few more here. Thoughts on how the Cavs are looking? Seems like Harden, Ellis, and Schroeder have made a nice impact so far. I think Harden can help Mobley a ton. Things seem to be trending in the right direction for Cleveland right now, and I'm excited. I think I don't have them in the upper tier in the Eastern Conference, but they are. You've got them in the top tier.
Yeah. I've got now that's a team tier 4.
Now that they've gone 9-1 over the last 10,
They even before the trade, they were starting to play better. Now they really are playing pretty good basketball. And I think Kenny Atkinson, we'll see what it looks like after, but I like the way he is staggering Mitchell and Harden to give both of them options where it's, hey, you can have, this is your lineup with that. So I think those are big. He's making sure to keep Jared Allen on the floor with James Harden. Twofold, right? One, he protects him defensively, and then 2, he's like the ideal pick and roll lob threat rim running partner for James Harden. So they've kind of got everything you need to make a real run. Am I told it's going to happen? No, but I think they look really good. I've got them right there with Detroit, Boston, and New York, all pretty. I'm fairly confident it's going to be one of those 4, and we'll come down to health matchups and all that stuff.
The Cavs need to get their offense clicking the way it was most of last season when they were the number 1 seed in the East. And I think they're getting to that point. I loved the James Harden trade for them. I think they're going to be very, very good. I'm not ready to completely push them up to that next tier just yet, but I think they're on the right path right now. I think they're getting there. And I want to see this team get fully healthy, have everybody back ready to roll come playoff time. What the Cavs have to be hoping for is the inverse of last season. Last season, they were hot, they looked great, and then they sputtered in the playoffs. This season, you'd like to see them not peak midway through, but instead be playing their best basketball when the playoffs get going. So hopefully they can do that, because I think they are a very, very good, very talented team, and I'm excited to see what they can bring.
Yeah, let's since we're kind of talking standings here a little.
Yeah.
How about the Detroit Pistons with the best record in the NBA at the All-Star break?
Pretty crazy.
Unbelievable. Right? Like I knew last night that they were going to have the fewest losses once the Thunder were getting their tails whipped. So it was like, all right, and then I didn't bother to do the math. I should have. And then I was like, after, it's like, oh, I could have just said instead of fewest losses, I could have said best record. 2 years ago at the All-Star break, they were 8-46. They had 28 losses. They had lost 35 of 36 or something like that in one stretch. And now they're 40-13 with the best record in the league.
What a
It's
turnaround.
unbelievable with them.
Incredible stuff. What's your guys' take on trading Harden and Zubac just as they were doing so good?
Future focused deals for the Clippers, not getting, not being me and buying in that, oh, hey, this team is really good now. This was more of a, all right, who knows where we're going to go. But we could get Darius Garland. That's now our point guard of the future. Everybody I've talked to there says we're going to get him right. We're going to figure this thing out with his feet and his toes. Good luck to you with that. Hopefully you can get that sorted. But then the Zubac deal just was too good to pass up. You got 2 first-round picks for him, and they kind of like Benedict Mathurin, so they're open to the idea of keeping him around. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it's it's tough, but it's like, where were you going anyway? Like, kind of deal. So I don't mind them doing what they did.
And with the state of the West right now, I don't think they're going anywhere in terms of falling either.
Yeah, absolutely not.
There's no motivation for Memphis. They've got a solid lead on them anyway, but the Grizzlies aren't going to chase them down. The Mavs aren't going to do it. The Jazz aren't going to do it. The Pels, the Kings. So they're going to make the play-in regardless. I do like what they got. I mean, if this turns into the 5th pick in the draft, plus a future first, plus Mathurin for Zubac, that's pretty damn good value. Now, it may not turn into that. I mean, it's going to depend on lottery luck and all that sort of stuff. But even if it doesn't, even if the pick doesn't convey this year, it's still a future unprotected pick that could wind up being extremely valuable. Who knows what the Pacers are going to look like in 2031? Plus, you get a young player in Mathurin. I don't think the Clippers wanted to sell on Zubac, but I don't see how they could have turned down the deal that was on the table.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. I think both trades were really good value for them, and those are kind of trades that take a little bit of courage, because the easy thing would have been to say, we like the way we're playing, we think we can do something in the postseason, we're not going to make changes. And I think they're in a place where they had the courage to say, you know what, we need to lean in. And some people have said that maybe it's they know they're going to get punished here, and they wanted to get some extra picks in the vault before that happened. Maybe I don't know that that's true or not true, but yeah, I think I think those trades were good trades, kind of no matter what's to come. A couple people asked if we're going to talk about the Clippers situation. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah. All right. If you were both were Adam, what would you do?
Yes, we're talking about it again.
We're talking about it again. What would you dole out as punishment to the Clippers, assuming guilt?
I would void Kawhi's contract, but not give them cap space. I would suspend Kawhi for the remainder of his contract. So not let him sign anywhere, because that's ridiculous that he would just then be a free agent. Doesn't seem right. No. And I would punish the team with loss of multiple draft picks and the like. And
you can issue the fine, the $7.5 million fine.
Yeah, it's the biggest fine they've ever gotten, which that part's laughable with the amount of money Steve Ballmer has.
It's nothing.
That's not going to be anything. But yeah, draft picks and void the contract, but don't give them cap space. So
you're saying you would suspend Kawhi as well?
Yeah,
for the remainder of the contract. He's under contract next year.
Yep.
You would have it be a year and a half suspension for Kawhi?
Yeah. Yeah. You signed you signed a contract knowing what you were doing was illegal. That's not, you're not free and clear here. And I've heard some people say, well, it's not his fault. He asked and they did it. That's not, you asked for something you knew wasn't legal. Come on.
We all knew the rules, right? Or we all know the rules, right? Wasn't that what Lawrence Frank kept saying?
Yeah.
We all know that when he was asked whether or not Uncle Dennis asked for extra stuff. Yeah. Oh no, we all knew the rules.
And the person who said in the chat, Players Association not having it, 100%. They would immediately file grievances, as they should. That's what their job is to do all that stuff. But yeah, this would be, punishment to the nth degree. And if you don't want to go that, if you don't want to go that far, then I would start to do things like, all right, great. You guys are now operating at a salary cap that is 70% of the rest of the league. and a tax line that is 70% of their, like, and really, you have to hit them very, very hard.
Man, I've been saying you need to drop the hammer. That's even coming from the perspective of a Lakers fan. That's an even stiffer punishment than I was thinking you were going to say. I don't disagree with it that it needs to be something. It needs to be something that's going to scare the bejesus out of any team that considers doing it again.
Exactly it.
Because if you don't, if it wants, let's say it's just the $7.5 million fine, which I mean, Steve Ballmer has in his couch cushions.
Sure.
Let's say it is just that fine. Some owner, could be Ballmer, could be somebody else, right? Some owner in the near future would say, I'll take a $7.5 million fine if that means I'm signing that superstar player. We're going to make back more than that when that player's playing for us. Our revenue is going to go up. Our jersey sales are going to go up. $7.5 million fine, well worth it. Hey, we're going to sign you to this contract to go plant some trees, and we're going to funnel you an extra $50 million. Sound good? Cool. Let's go. Right? That's what you can't have happening, because if the punishment is not stiff enough, that is what will happen. Again, that's if wrongdoing is discovered. It's hard to see anything other than wrongdoing here because of what's been presented, but you can't have a situation where owners say, you know what, that wasn't that bad of a like the punishment for tampering. Not all that bad. Oh, shoot. Worst case, I guess we lose a second round pick. Bummer. Yeah, teams are going to continue to tamper away. This is much more serious, and you cannot allow a situation where teams can say it's worth the punishment to do this crime.
And I am working off the context of the question from Teddy, which said, assuming guilt.
Assuming guilt.
If you can't prove this stuff, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, then it gets really, really hard, because at that point, like, that's right. I get it. It's the NBA. They're in effect a private corporation, but it is like one of the fundamental tenets is innocent until proven guilty of our, entire society here. Sure. Like, that's where you got to get really careful. But yeah, if they believe they can prove guilt, or if they can absolutely prove guilt, you have to just absolutely, make this as bad as possible, that next time anybody even thinks about it, it's going to be, remember what happened to the Clippers? Oh yeah, that was really bad. I mean, I've heard people say you could destroy their franchise. Well, then so be it. Like, it's you're not going to. It'll take a couple years, and you know what? Clippers fans they'll galvanize around whatever is left. They will, root for that. I mean, we all know how this goes. Like, you would just really, you have to. You can't allow this, because we have richest ownership groups we've ever had in the NBA. There's rumors that Jeff Bezos could get involved if Seattle's an expansion team. If he does, then good luck. Now we're saying this is nothing to Steve Ballmer if you just fire him. You imagine with Bezos, like, it'd be like, oh, that's truly laughable. Like, that is like truly lost money for me that I do not care about. So yeah, it's tough.
Exactly. All right, let's go rapid fire through these last few here.
Yeah.
Keith, random question. As a Spurs fan, I want to think we can win it all, but history has shown you we need experience. What do you think?
Yeah, could they win it all? Sure. Like, Wemby's that good. I like their teams with that, but I would say, history says you need at least one playoff run, right? You need one. The dog sees something outside. He's fired.
The dog is like rapid
you
fire.
You need one playoff run to kind of get through first, so you have a good sense of what it takes to win in the playoffs. It's a completely different animal.
All right, let's go here. Do you guys think the Warriors will sign someone on the buyout market? They have a roster spot, right? Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they do,
they did two, because they did two. They did the 2-for-1 in the Porzingis trade, and then traded Trace Jackson Davis. One spot went to Pat Spencer on a conversion, so they've got one spot open. I mean, they'll fill it, but they've gone one of two ways. They always fill that spot. They're also very big on rewarding their G League guys with call ups. So we'll see. I don't. Warriors getting somebody from the buyout market, sure, but the reality is, I don't think it's going to change all that much.
All right. Top 3 cereals, top 3 chips. That's a random one.
I don't know.
I don't eat cereal much. I mean, I always liked Life cereal when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I'm not a big cereal person. I'm not a big breakfast person in general.
Yeah, I love breakfast, but I prefer other things.
Yeah.
And none of the cereals I like are like I like Honey Nut Cheerios and like Chex and nothing that anybody's gonna be like, what the heck? I used to like Captain Crunch, Crunch
Captain
Berries when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
But I can't eat that stuff anymore. That gives me all kinds of issues. Top 3 chips. I don't know. I don't eat a lot of chips. Yeah, either.
There's a good, I can't remember the name of it. There's a good brand of tortilla chip that we found. They're awesome, especially with some guac. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
But chips wise, yeah, I like I'll go for, if I'm going to Subway or something and I get a bag of chips with my sandwich, I'll get like the baked barbecue lays. I like those. But in general, I'm not huge on chips.
Yeah, I know that I did. It was that exact situation. I had to get I didn't have to, but I got a bag of chips and I got Doritos.
Mhm.
Like I remember when we were kids, like if you ate like 3 Doritos, your fingers were just covered.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's not like that anymore in those
It's
bags. And I
not.
asked my daughter, and she's like, "Yeah, they don't put as much stuff
Hmm.
on cheese
Remember
dust on 'em."
Cheeto fingers and stuff. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
All right, let's go here. Hey, Trevin Keith just got here. Not sure if I already answered, but if Cole Anthony gets waived, where should he go? Wherever
It's
there's
hard.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of people need bench guards right
Right.
now. Yeah, I'd call Boston, like they're light on ball handling
Yeah.
off the bench. That isn't Peyton Pritchard, so I'd be very careful there. So with that, somebody says Mr. Healthy, I don't eat cereal with chips. It's not about that for me. I eat other
I eat plenty of
sweets.
bad things.
Yeah.
Those just aren't my main
Yeah.
go-tos or whatever.
Yeah, I like sweet stuff more than salty at this point. The Reese's, they've got the Reese's hearts out, the white chocolate Reese's hearts,
man.
and like I could eat an entire 6-pack of those in one sitting without even thinking about it.
Those are so good. Never understood how anyone could think Kawhi is innocent in all this. It's like saying a robber is innocent because the victim gave him the money. Yeah,
I mean,
that's part of this.
different,
It often
but
gets. This is, we focus a lot on what did the Clippers do wrong, what did Aspiration do wrong, but it's not like Kawhi was oblivious to the fact that what was happening allegedly was wrong. I mean, most people, I think, if a $50 million, whatever it was, 28 million, 48 million, whatever the number came in at, ungodly amount of money is put in front of them for doing nothing, most people are going to go, yeah, I'll take tens of millions of dollars. Thank you very much. But he also knew that him getting that money is outside of the NBA system and not the way that things are supposed to happen and are completely against the rules of the CBA. So, yeah, I do think that Kawhi is there's good, and he's playing some of the best basketball of his career right now, but there's punishment coming for Kawhi as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he gets off scot-free here with this.
All right. Everybody, I'm gonna go
vacation time.
Almost. I've got the Lakers collective to do, and then like 50 million things to do before actually going on vacation. A bunch of stuff to pre-record and all kinds of things. But we appreciate all of you for joining us here. If you are a Lakers fan, the Lakers collective is going to be starting up in about 5 minutes. Jovan and I are going to be talking about a lot of different Lakers things, so come hang out with us over there. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Keith?
Hey, let me say one quick thing.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day tomorrow. Take care of your loved ones in your life. If you're lucky to still have your mom and dad and have a good relationship with them, give them a call. They will appreciate that more than you know. And then, your kids, your partner, whoever it is, make sure you take care of them on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And we'll see you guys next Friday. It will just be me and a solo show. So at some point, but enjoy your vacation, brother.
Thanks, man. You too. Enjoy the staycation, and we'll get some rest and be ready for what's going to be a sprint to finish up the end of the NBA season. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Till next time. See ya, and stay safe.